Dot and Bubble and Rogue are really good episodes. Dot and Bubble is a doctor and companion light episode, where it follows the character Lindy Pepperbean, who lives in a world called Fine Time. Fine Time is a world where everyone uses the dot and bubble to communicate and perform most tasks. It's a clear commentary on cell phone addiction in Gen Z, and it's pretty decent. We see as the people of Fine Time are being eaten by slugs, and no one realizes it because they're all trapped in their bubbles. The Doctor and Ruby use the dot and bubble chat system and try and rescue Lindy. Honestly, the whole episode gave me Black Mirror vibes. At one point, Lindy's dot battery dies, and she has to evade the slugs without help. It's here where we meet the best character in the episode. Ricky September! Ricky was first mentioned in the pre-credits scene, and he's depicted as the stereotypical TikTok influencer. But when we meet him in person, we see he's actually the most intelligent and capable person in Fine Time. Unlike every other person in Fine Time, according to Ricky, he actually doesn't use his dot and bubble most of the time, so he knows how to navigate the area. I really liked Ricky. He's a great subversion of expectations. You'd expect a social media influencer character to be self-absorbed and lack self-awareness, but Ricky is actually really great and is the most selfless character in Fine Time. I also kind of liked Lindy for a lot of the episode. She's a self-absorbed brat who we watch be forced to deal with a dangerous situation far outside her comfort zone. I thought by the end of the episode she would become a better person, but then the twist happened. When Ricky and Lindy are about to enter the tunnel that'll bring them out of the city, Lindy's dot goes rogue and starts attacking her, revealing that the dots are the actual enemy. The dots created the giant slugs because they grew to hate their users, and it's killing them in alphabetical order by last name. Ricky uses a broken pipe as a baseball bat to fight off the dot, but when the dot uses a large hook to knock him over, it starts to charge at Lindy to kill her. It's here where Lindy reveals that Ricky's last name isn't September, but Coombs, so the dot kills him instead. You can just feel the sense of betrayal Ricky feels right before the dot kills him. This scene made me hate Lindy, and that hate was reinforced minutes later when Lindy finally met the Doctor in person. It's here that's revealed that Lindy, and likely a majority of the Fine Time population, are actually racist. The Doctor offers to bring Lindy and the rest of the survivors in the TARDIS because outside of the city isn't safe. Lindy and the survivors refuse to go with the Doctor because he's not one of them. The Fine Time survivors, including Lindy, all act as though the Doctor is beneath them. The fact that this scene of the survivors refusing to go with the Doctor was the first one Ncuti Gatwa shot for the series, including the church on Ruby Road, is amazing because he's absolutely incredible, and you can just feel this frustration at not being able to save them. Honestly, Ncuti Gatwa is just phenomenal in the role. The next episode we'll be discussing is called Rogue. In the episode, the Doctor and Ruby are in 1813 London at a ball. Here, the Doctor meets a time-traveling bounty hunter named Rogue, who's watching over the ball. Prior to the release of the episode, I kept hearing rumors that Rogue was actually going to be revealed as a recasted Captain Jack Harkness. Thankfully, that's not the case, and Rogue is a new character. Here are some things I want to point out that I found really cool. I love the era-appropriate covers of Bad Guy and Poker Face. It reminds me a lot of how Bioshock Infinite had ragtime covers of different songs. Rogue's design reminded me a lot of Spike Spiegel from Cowboy Bebop. Given that both are bounty hunters, I wonder if the team took inspiration from Spike when designing Rogue. We see the Doctor using a magnifying glass on a sonic screwdriver, which is pretty cool. I'm loving the Universal Remote vibe 15 Sonic has. I can't wait for them to release an official toy of it so I can add it to my collection. Finally, during the scene on Rogue's ship, where we see the holograms of the Doctor's previous incarnations, we see Richard E. Grant's ninth Doctor, aka the Shulker Doctor. The Shulker Doctor is an incarnation of the Doctor only seen once in the 2003 animated web episode Scream of the Shulker. Scream of the Shulker was made during the Wilderness years after the 1996 TV movie and before Russell T Davies revived the show in 2005. The events of Scream of the Shulker and Richard E. Grant's Doctor weren't considered canon, but Rogue appears to canonize it to some extent. Hopefully we get some kind of explanation in a later episode. Back to the episode, Rogue is tracking down the Chaldor, fugitive bird aliens who are able to steal the forms of others. He suspects that the Doctor is a Chaldor and arrests him. The Doctor is able to convince Rogue that he's not a Chaldor through Rogue's ship showing the Doctor's previous incarnations. After this, the Doctor brings Rogue to the TARDIS. I love Rogue's reaction to how it's bigger on the inside, and the Doctor singing Pure Imagination from Willy Wonka is the cherry on top.
It's not my first shed.
Oh my God!
Come with me and you'll be in a world of pure imagination.
Take a look and you'll see into your imagination.
We see the Doctor and Rogue slowly grow closer together. I should note that while this is happening, Ruby is also putting together the pieces of the Chaldor invasion with a girl named Emily. Since the Duchess is a Chaldor and is attracted to scandal, the Doctor has Rogue dance with him, which wasn't considered socially acceptable at the time. The camera work and dance choreography in the scene are great. After that, we learn that it's actually several Chaldor who want to take over the world by impersonating people of importance. It's revealed that Emily is actually a Chaldor and she steals Ruby's form. When the Doctor sees that Emily has stolen Ruby's form, he starts to cry and activates the trap that Rogue had set up. It traps all of the Chaldor and will send them to a dimension from which they can't escape. It's here that Ruby reveals that she is alright, and that Emily didn't steal her form. Instead, when Emily tried to kill Ruby, she knocked her out and pretended she was Emily because she was curious as to what would happen. The Doctor can't shut it off and can't bring himself to activate the trap. Rogue kisses the Doctor and takes the controls to the trap before jumping in and pushing Ruby out. Then he activates the trap, sacrificing himself. After that, we see the Doctor and Ruby sitting together. It's clear that the Doctor's experience with Rogue has left an impact on him. Rogue is a great episode. It's good to see a full Doctor and companion episode after the last two are Doctor Lights. Rogue is a great character and I hope that we see him again in the future. I'm going to put Rogue in S tier and Dot and Bubble in A tier. I hope you enjoyed this video. Source out.